Have you ever wondered why some sitcoms make you laugh hysterically while others leave you with a confused expression? There's obviously plenty of potential reasons, but I do believe one is more important than the others. Before I get onto it though, let me tell you a little story, and don't worry, it's relevant to the point I'm trying to make here. You see, the other day I was taking a break on my couch, rewatching one of my all-time favorite sitcoms for what feels like the 10th time, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I mean, who can resist Parker's colorful shirts and gravity-defying hair?
Is my hair okay?
Park, this is only a half-hour show, man.
As I'm chuckling away at his gang's adventures, I felt the need for more. So I asked myself, could there be another show out there cut from the same wacky cloth? As fate would have it, my quest for sitcom soulmates took a turn when I discovered that the creator of Scrubs was a massive fan of Parker Lewis and drew significant inspiration from it for his own series. Despite hearing of Scrubs many times before, I never got around to watch it for some reason, so I decided to give it a whirl. From the very beginning, the influence of Parker Lewis smacked me right in the face like a well-placed pie in a food fight. Both shows are like long-lost siblings separated of a TV show birth. The same level of wacky, the same sound effects that pop like fireworks, and the same use of props, makeup and sets to craft comedic gold. And yet, for some reason, it wasn't doing it for me. It'd get a chuckle out of me every now and then, sure, but that was about it. And that's when it hit me like a punchline in a stand-up comedy club. There's a small but crucial difference in how the characters of both shows are written. You see, the heart and soul of any sitcom are its characters. They're the ones who make us laugh, cry, and sometimes cringe. But here's the kicker. Some writers choose to build their characters around their qualities, that's Parker Lewis, while others choose to build them around their flaws. That would be Scrubs. This seemingly straightforward choice isn't just a throwaway decision. It's the secret sauce that flavors the entire show. It defines the humor, sets the tone, and creates the vibe that either tickles your funny bone or leaves it unmoved. And trust me, once you understand that subtle difference, you'll be able to quickly tell whether a sitcom is for you or not. And to illustrate, let me serve you up a couple of more famous examples, starting with The Big Bang. If there's one sitcom where the characters are built around their faults, it's The Big Bang Theory. At the start of the show, the most important defining trait of every single character is their main imperfection. Sheldon is socially inept, Raj is unable to speak with women, Howard is a perverted mama's boy, and Leonard, well, he's the walking embodiment of awkwardness. And then there's Penny, of course, who's written as the typical dumb bimbo stereotype. That doesn't mean these characters don't have other traits or even qualities, of course they do. But by centering each character on a negative attribute, the screenwriters create a world where characters are often ridiculed, and playful banter is often mixed with hurtful personal jabs.
Sometimes your movements are so lifelike, I forget you're not a real boy.
It's like watching a roast with extra nerd seasoning. No wonder, by the way, that folks in the nerd kingdom have mixed feelings about this show, despite its massive popularity. The hardcore truth is that it doesn't exactly give nerd culture a standing ovation. It's more like a not-so-gentle ribbing. On a little side note, the IT crowd dances to the same tune of highlighting character flaws, but this time it's the less tech-savvy souls who get the biggest hit.
This gen, it's the internet.
That's probably why it's like a hidden gem in the nerd community, while its American counterpart takes the mainstream stage. But I digress. Now, let's swing over to the opposite end of the spectrum and shine the spotlight on a show that builds its characters around their positive attributes. Enter How I Met Your Mother. I get it, it's been trendy to bash Ted in recent years, but whether you like him or not, his key defining trait is to be a hopeless romantic. Marshall is a lovable goofball and a loyal best friend. Lily is the no-nonsense fun fiancée. Robin is the fiery career woman. And do I even need to introduce Barney Stinson?
It's gonna be legend! Wait for it.
From their own admission, the creators of How I Met Your Mother wanted to bottle up the fun and excitement of their young single days in New York City and share it with us, with the audience. They wanted us to wish we could be a part of their gang. And that's why the characters are written primarily to be sympathetic, regardless of their potential flaws. And this is where we delve into the fundamental difference between these two sitcom dishes. Some invite us to laugh at the characters, while others want us to laugh with them. Now, I can already hear some of you shouting, "But Francois, I adore the characters in The Big Bang Theory, and I can't stand those in How I Met Your Mother." Well, hold your laugh track, because it's not about which characters you would invite to your dinner party. It's all about how the jokes are served up. You might find Sheldon's quirks endearing, just as others may find Ted's romantic gestures a tad creepy. but in both cases, that's not the intended flavor. Sheldon is very obviously made to be insufferable.
Well, I'm annoying. You criticize my behavior all the time. Sheldon, don't talk about your bowel movements over breakfast. Sheldon, when the president of the university is giving a eulogy at a funeral, don't yawn and point at your watch.
And Ted to be a sentimental you're supposed to be rooting for in his quest for the one.
Found him waiting in my apartment with a string quartet and roses and chocolates.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Isn't it also kind of crazy? I mean, who does that?
Nobody does that.
Exactly.
No, honey. Nobody does that.
Of course, Sheldon has nice moments, just like Ted sometimes crosses the line between romantic and creepy. But it's important to remember that most well-written sitcoms don't just stick to one flavor. Interesting characters, like real people, are as complicated as a Christopher Nolan plot. Those who shine with positivity still carry their flaws, just as those painted in a negative light might occasionally surprise you with their humanity.
When I lost my own father, I didn't have any friends to help me through it. You do.
Good writers walk the tightrope between these extremes, crafting characters so relatable that you're not just watching TV, you're sharing snacks and secrets with them. That's why both sitcoms have been insanely popular, because they're well written in their own way. Similarly, characters are not monolithic, and there are sitcoms who manage to take a leap from one side of a spectrum to the other. A great example of that is Parks and Recreation. In its debut season, characters were like sitting ducks in a shooting gallery of flaws. Leslie was a poster child for naivety, Tom was the grandmaster of laziness, Andy was a freeloader, and so on. We were meant to laugh at their collective incompetence. Then, like a sitcom phoenix rising from the ashes of bad reviews, the writers decided to give these characters a makeover in season 2. Rather than their flaws, they were now defined primarily by their qualities. Leslie morphed into a hurricane of efficiency. Tom was actually ambitious, he was just in the wrong career. Andy finally punched in a job. You get the picture. Only Ron Swanson remained an unmovable mountain of masculinity.
I'm Ron Swanson.
And guess what? It worked like a charm. Audiences cheered and Parks and Rec soared to sitcom stardom. This saga hammers one point home. The same way understanding our own personal needs and tastes can help us make better watching decisions, understanding their audience can help writers and producers create better, funnier content. Now, this is nice and all, but the important question remains. Why is it that some of us laugh at one style more than the other? It's a complicated question, of course, but here are some potential answers. Sitcoms that build their characters around their weaknesses are all about that sweet, sweet taste of superiority and cozy comfort. Watching the characters in The Big Bang Theory being ridiculed is like a quick shot of ego espresso. Suddenly, our own quirks and blunders seem minor. In the case of Scrubs, we've got these young, imperfect doctors navigating a demanding hospital with bosses that would make a drill surgeon flinch. Watching them struggle and grow gives us the boost of confidence we need, and suddenly, our next big exam or work meeting doesn't seem so daunting. In essence, these sitcoms are born from a simple need: reassurance. They remind us that we're better than we think and that there's always worse out there. It's a little bit like watching a comedic pep talk. Conversely, the other side of a comedy pond builds its humor on a thirst for social interaction and adventures. They're all about recreating that warm, fuzzy feeling of hanging out with your friends and embarking on wild escapades. When we tune in and see optimistic characters diving headfirst into relatable, light-hearted shenanigans, our brain erupts with fireworks of positive emotions. In How I Met Your Mother, the characters have a never-ending membership to their favorite bar, and when they're not there, they're having fun in their apartments or going out somewhere exciting. No matter how hard life sucker punches them, there's always a cold beer, good friends, and great moments waiting. As for Parker Lewis, the gang is either lounging around like high school royalty or executing epic schemes to prank their also-serious principal. Both of these shows wouldn't work nearly as well if we weren't made to feel like we're hanging out with people we'd be friends with in real life. These differences are like the secret recipe behind your grandma's apple pie. They explain why the style of sitcom feels like home, while the other just doesn't taste right. I can almost guarantee that if you flip through your cherished collection of favorite sitcoms, they all cozy up to the same campfire. Are they roasting marshmallows together like some sitcom roast their characters? Or are they telling each other exciting stories and getting drunk together? Now, as for yours truly, I'm not exactly a fan of sitcoms that toss their characters into the comedy meat grinder. Watching the Scrubs gang constantly bicker and getting yelled at by their bosses leaves me as uneasy as a cat at a fireworks show. That's not the comedy I'm searching for in a sitcom. I much prefer the colorful high school shenanigans of the Parker Lewis trio or the drunken adventures of the How I Met Your Mother gang. But here's the twist. I get that some folks out there find catharsis in the impeccably crafted rants of Dr. Cox. To each their own, right? Figuring out which approach makes you feel more comfortable is like having a sneak peek into the crystal ball of your psyche, unveiling your unique tastes and personality. Obviously, as you waltz through the dance of life, your comedy cravings may change. So if you're wondering why that once beloved show doesn't hit the comedic sweet spot anymore, it might just be a change of heart on your part. Time to maybe explore some shows you didn't enjoy as much before. And if you're one of those rare unicorns who savor both flavors equally, well, kudos to you, my friend. Keep savoring, and may your sitcom journey be a comedy odyssey for the ages.
Dairy! Legendary!